Hey, English learners! Welcome back to the Neo English Podcast, your cozy place to learn simple English through real life conversations, useful vocabulary, and gentle motivation. I'm Olivia.
And I'm William.
William, can I ask you something?
I'm starting to expect that every episode now. Go ahead.
When was the last time you scrolled through your phone and suddenly felt like you were behind in life?
Honestly, this morning, I saw an old classmate post about his new house, and for a second, I felt like I hadn't done enough with my own life.
Just from one photo?
Just from one photo. It's strange how fast that happens.
I think almost everyone knows that feeling. One scroll and suddenly your own life feels smaller than it did 5 minutes ago.
Exactly. And the odd thing is, nothing about my life actually changed. Only my thinking did.
That's exactly what today's episode is about. It's called Why Comparing Yourself to Others is Stealing Your Progress.
That title makes me a little uncomfortable already.
Good. Sometimes the most useful episodes are the ones that make us a little uncomfortable.
This episode is perfect for B1 to B2 English learners.
And if you're a strong A2 learner, don't worry about understanding every word. Just relax, listen, and enjoy. Whether you're walking, commuting, drinking coffee, or practicing English, we're glad you're here.
Let's begin. William, why do you think we compare ourselves to other people so much?
Maybe because it's easy. It's much easier to look at someone else than to look honestly at yourself.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Think about it. Looking at your own progress takes patience. Looking at someone else's highlight reel takes 2 seconds.
And the highlight reel is the perfect word because we never compare our whole story to someone else's whole story.
What do you mean?
We compare our behind the scenes to their best moment, my tired Tuesday morning against their vacation photo.
That's not really a fair comparison, is it?
Not even close, but somehow we do it anyway.
I've done that with English too. I'll watch someone speak fluently in a video and instantly think, I'll never sound like that.
But you don't see their first year of learning. You don't see their mistakes, their silence, their slow progress.
That's true. I only see the finished result. Exactly. Comparison shows you someone's chapter 20 while you're still on chapter 3 of your own story.
Like that. Chapter 20 versus chapter 3.
And here's the part that really matters. While you're busy watching someone else's chapter 20, your own chapter 3 isn't being written.
So comparison doesn't just make us feel bad, it actually costs us something.
Exactly. It costs you attention, energy, and time. And those are the exact things you need to make progress.
That's a strange trade. I give away my energy just to feel worse about myself.
When you say it like that, it sounds almost silly.
Maybe it is a little silly.
Olivia, can I be honest about something?
Always.
Sometimes I don't just compare myself to strangers. I compare myself to who I used to think I'd become by now.
That's a heavier kind of comparison.
It is. There's a version of me in my head who has everything figured out by this age, and the real me never quite matches that person.
I think a lot of people carry an imaginary version of themselves around like that.
It's exhausting, competing with someone who doesn't even exist.
Olivia, can I ask one last question before we continue?
Of course. Have you ever compared yourself to someone and later realized the comparison meant nothing at all?
Have you ever compared yourself to someone and later realized the comparison meant nothing at all?
That's a wonderful question, and I think my answer might surprise you.
William, you asked if I've ever compared myself to someone and later realized it meant nothing.
I did. So what happened? Years ago, a friend of mine grew up speaking English at home. By the time we met as adults, she could hold full conversations effortlessly, and I was still stumbling over simple sentences.
That sounds like it would sting a little.
It did. I felt behind, almost embarrassed, like I was somehow failing at something she found easy.
But was it ever really the same race?
That's exactly what I eventually realized. She had grown up bilingual. I hadn't. We weren't running the same track at all.
So the comparison was never fair to begin with.
Exactly. I was judging my starting line against her years of head start and calling myself slow for it.
That happens more often than we admit.
It does. Everyone is running their own race, with their own starting line, their own obstacles, and their own pace.
So it's like two runners on completely different tracks, and only one of them had a head start.
Exactly. And once I understood that, something shifted. I stopped asking, why am I not as far as she is? And started asking, am I further than I was last month?
That's a completely different question.
It is. One question invites shame, the other invites growth.
I think that's the real danger of comparison. It quietly convinces us we're failing, even when we're actually improving.
Exactly. Progress can be happening right under your feet, and comparison will still tell you you're standing still.
That's a strange kind of lie our minds tell us.
It is, and it happens in almost every area of life. Career, relationships, appearance, even parenting.
And English learning, of course.
Especially English learning. Someone posts a video speaking 5 languages, and suddenly your own 2 languages feel like nothing.
Even though 2 languages is genuinely impressive.
Exactly. Comparison doesn't lower the achievement, it lowers how we see it.
Olivia, can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Have you noticed that the people who seem happiest rarely talk about beating other people?
Now that you mention it, yes. They usually talk about their own goals, their own small wins.
Exactly. They're not asking, am I better than them? They're asking, am I better than I was yesterday?
That's such a small shift in words, but it feels like a completely different mindset.
It is. One version of that question keeps you anxious forever because there will always be someone further ahead. The other version actually has an answer you can act on.
So maybe the goal isn't to stop noticing other people entirely.
No, that's almost impossible, and honestly not even necessary. The goal is to stop measuring your worth by their progress.
So it's fine to admire someone.
Completely fine. Admiration can inspire you. Comparison usually just discourages you.
What's the difference exactly?
Admiration says, wow, that's possible. Maybe I can learn something from them. Comparison says, they have it and I don't, so something must be wrong with me.
One builds you up and the other quietly tears you down.
Exactly. And most of the time, we don't even notice which one we're doing.
I think I need to start noticing.
We all do. Here's something else I've realized. Comparison almost always focuses on the gap, never on the distance already traveled.
The gap between you and them instead of the distance between where you started and where you are now.
Exactly. And that distance is often much bigger than we give ourselves credit for.
You know, I think about my English journey sometimes. A year ago, I couldn't have had this conversation as naturally as I'm having it now.
That's real progress, Olivia.
It is, but I rarely stop to notice it because I'm too busy looking at people further ahead.
That's the trap. We measure the wrong distance.
So how do we actually stop doing this? It feels so automatic.
I don't think we can stop noticing other people completely, but we can build one small habit.
What's that?
Whenever you catch yourself comparing, ask one simple question instead. Compared to who I was before, how have I grown?
That redirects the whole thought.
Exactly. It brings your attention back to your own timeline where the comparison actually means something.
I like that this doesn't require ignoring the world, it just requires a better question. Exactly. Instead of asking, am I behind them, ask, am I ahead of who I used to be? And better questions quietly build better lives.
William, I think today's episode has changed how I'll scroll through my phone tonight.
How so?
Instead of quietly measuring myself against everyone I see, I want to ask what I can genuinely learn or enjoy from it without turning it into a competition.
I think that's a wonderful place to land.
And now I think it's time for my favorite part.
The word walk?
Exactly. Let's learn 5 useful English words together.
Welcome back to Word Walk, where we learn 5 useful English words you can use in everyday life. Our first word is comparison.
That word is basically today's whole episode.
It is. Comparison means looking at 2 things side by side to see how they're similar or different. For example, comparison with others can steal your joy if you're not careful.
That's such a true sentence.
Our second word is worthy.
I've heard that word, but I'm not totally sure what it means.
Worthy means deserving respect, attention, or value. For example, you are worthy of kindness, even on your hardest days.
I think a lot of people need to hear that sentence.
Word number 3, milestone.
Is that like an achievement?
Exactly. A milestone is an important point or event in progress, something worth noticing and celebrating. For example, finishing your first English conversation is a real milestone.
I never thought of small moments as milestones before.
Our fourth word is envy.
That sounds like a stronger word than jealousy.
They're similar. Envy means wanting what someone else has and sometimes feeling upset that you don't have it. For example, try to notice envy without letting it control your choices.
That's a useful reminder.
Our final word is self-compassion.
That's a longer word, but a beautiful one.
Self-compassion means treating yourself with kindness and understanding, especially when you make mistakes or fall behind. For example, self-compassion helps you keep going instead of giving up.
I think that word ties this whole episode together.
Let's review today's words: comparison, worthy, milestone, envy, self-compassion.
Try using one of these words in a sentence today. The more you use them, the more naturally they'll become part of your English.
Before we finish, we'd like to leave you with one thought. Somewhere out there, right now, someone is watching your life and quietly comparing themselves to you.
They might be admiring the very thing you feel unsure about.
So the next time you catch yourself measuring your life against someone else's, pause and ask a better question. Not, am I behind them, but am I ahead of who I used to be?
That question alone can change the direction of your whole day.
Thank you for spending this time with us today. We hope this conversation helped you improve your English and see your own progress a little more clearly.
If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to the Neo English podcast for more easy English conversations, practical vocabulary, and meaningful discussions about life, communication, mindset, and personal growth.
And tell us in the comments, what's one piece of progress you're proud of this year, even if no one else noticed it?
I'm Olivia.
And I'm William. You've been listening to the Neo English podcast.
And remember, your English goal and your life goal are both closer than you think.